Hello everybody, today's video we'll be talking about the various Japanese internment camps that spawned between 1942 to the end of World War II. Some of the camps being Tool Lake, Topaz, Hard Mountain, Minidoka, Rauher, and Manzanar. There were 24 camps in total, which imprisoned around 120,000 people of Japanese descent. Anti-Japanese propaganda and the attack on Pearl Harbor created universal approval upon Japanese-American imprisonment. The camps are structured to have around 400 to 500 barracks, which provided very little privacy and sanitation. There were sections that provided administration to managing operations and projects. There are essential services areas, such as schools, hospitals, and communal areas for laundry. The camps had their own farms, which provided jobs for its residents. The camps were monitored by guard towers and had barbed wire fences that surrounded it from all sides. Not all people were with the imprisonment of the Japanese people. Many viewed it as a basically legal racism condoned by the American government. Even one of the Supreme Court, Frank Murphy, stated, "All residents of this nation are kin in some way by blood or culture to a foreign land, yet they are primarily and necessarily a part of the new and distinct civilization of the United States. They must accordingly be treated at all times as the heirs of the American experiment, and as entitled to all rights and freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution." After the war was over, Japanese Americans found themselves returning to their previous abodes and found it either ransacked or completely missing. Nearly 50,000 people still remain in the camps. And in fact, the government issued the camps to be closed at the end of the year. People who had nothing left to come home to were pushed into moving to different parts of the states. Trailing Executive Order 9066, 3 cases reached the Supreme Court, being Hirabayashi v. United States, Yasui v. United States, and Kuramatsu v. United States. Each one fought and addressed how Executive Order 9066 violated the Constitution. Hirabayashi contested the executive order, stating it violated the Fifth Amendment, but the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the US, stating, basically, the military has justification for doing so, as it is safer to side with the US than people that could still have ties with their motherland. Yasui contested upon the curfew that were placed upon the Japanese people, even being convicted after purposely violating the military curfew. He fought arguing the constitutionality of the curfew, which made its way up to the Supreme Court. For Kuramatsu's case, the Supreme Court upheld their decision on the executive order justifying the authorized internment of the Japanese people. Outside of the court, the 442nd Regiment Combat Team fought for the Japanese people's rights through their deployment, totaling around 18,000 people who have served in it. They were the most decorated squadron, particularly in Purple Hearts, which was awarded to people who were injured in combat, numbering up to 4,000 Purple Hearts, 21 Medal of Honors, and 7 Presidential Unit citations. These combat teams fought for 2 things. One was war raging on against the Axis powers, and 2 for their own people's freedom. President FDR even stating, "You fought not only the enemy, you fought prejudice and won." And while Captain Sekkei Takanashi, the 100th Infantry Battalion, stating, "We were fighting 2 wars, one for democracy and one against prejudice." We Are Not Free gives the readers an inside view of how it is to be forced away and put into these camps, the trials and tribulations that come along with the process. The novel showcases many different aspects of life during these times, and how the characters felt relate to the actions many Japanese Americans faced.